Yeah, a little loud. A little loud. As soon as I hit the record button, here we go. Boss it on. Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And today, we're back in the canning mode.
We are. It's time.
It is time.
Yeah, so, well, first, we've officially crossed the line where we are now using canned goods, the ones that I can.
Yep.
It's time. I will allow it at this point.
As long as it gets replaced.
Yes, exactly. So we've used a few. We've used some corn and some other stuff. So now we're going to start replacing it and just make sure that there's always something in there.
That's exactly right.
And this is one of my favorites. It's ham and bean soup.
Yep.
So we're going to make a huge pot of it. We're going to eat some for dinner, and then what's left over, we're going to can it. Instead of having leftovers all week, we're just going to go ahead and can it up, and we're going to have some soup in the pantry.
That's right. And so as you're watching this video, be thinking, even if you don't want to make this one, you know, we hope you do. It's a delicious soup. But be starting to think about the soups you make in this time of year, and we always have leftovers, right?
Always. There's always leftovers. So go ahead and can it up.
That's right. Can it up.
Put it in some mason jars, put it in the pressure canner.
Yep.
Make sure you get, you know, the amount of time and your pressure and your altitude and all that, and just, you know, preserve it and put it in the pantry.
That's right. And then you got your little, maybe a lunch soup if you want to do it in pints, or you have your family soup later down that you don't have to completely make because you've already got it in your pantry ready.
Now, a lot of people freeze it, but we are 100% out of freezer space, so that's not an option.
And we're not, I mean, like, we love freezing, but also, like, the goal here is to be sustainable, and if the power went out, there goes our freeze stuff.
Yep.
So we're trying to get everything into the pantry that doesn't require any of that action.
That's right.
So let's get right at it. Ham and bean soup coming your way.
Okay, so we're going to do this recipe right. We're not going to confuse you this time. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you as if you are just making a batch for your family for dinner. Don't worry about the canning part. If you want to can it, just double it, triple it, quadruple it to whatever the amount that you want to make. But this is just for dinner purposes. So you're going to need 1 pound of dried navy beans. Great value. Y'all know we ain't fancy around here. So 1 pound of dried navy beans. And you're just gonna, well, I always put my beans in the freezer for 24 hours. I don't know anyone that doesn't, but it's just to make sure it kills off any kind of pest or, you know, anything that is on those beans, because they are heavily sprayed. So when you buy them, put them in the freezer for 24 hours and then take them out and rinse them really, really well. Just try to get off whatever's on. You can kind of look through, make sure there's no nasty looking beans. If there are, take them out. And then just pour them into your pot.
You got something in your teeth?
Persimmons. Woo! Alright. Now you're going to put some water into all your beans. Make sure they're pretty heavily covered because they will soak up that water. So now you're just going to bring it to a boil. You might have to watch it. If there's no more water, add water. I've got a lot of beans in here because I'm doing a big batch. So we'll just kind of watch it, but put it on high and bring it to a boil.
So you're bringing it to an intense high boil. Then once it does boil, which she'll show you, but you're going to turn it down to low, let it simmer for 2 more minutes. Then you're going to remove the entire pot off the heat and let it sit for an hour.
Yep.
So we'll show you that, but just if you're taking notes here. How's it going, bean lady?
I love beans.
I don't like beans. But I can handle it in soup. It's like basically nothing in there, at least in my own opinion.
Alright, so we're to a boil. It took what?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, but this is a big pot.
Yeah, it's a 7 quart pot, and it's almost full.
Alright, so it's boiling, and we're going to turn it down to a simmer, which is low, and let it simmer for 2 minutes. Okay, the simmer is done, and now we're going to remove it from the heat and let it sit for 1 hour. So it's just the beans and water, but you want to let them sit for 1 hour.
Alright, completely off the heat, lid on, 1 hour. See y'all in half a second.
Okay, so they were done after their hour. We drained them all, and now I've got them in 2 separate pots because, like I told you, I'm doing a big batch. But now you're going to need a half of a fully cooked ham. So this is where it can get interesting. It's the holidays, right? Well, it is when we're doing this video. You might be watching this at a different time, but you can always find a ham. So what we like to usually do is use our leftovers from Thanksgiving or Christmas so that those ham, all that ham stuff doesn't go to waste. So that's what we usually do with this. However, we did not have many left over this year because they were eaten up quickly. It was a really good ham that we had. So I have just bought this little ham. You just need a ½ pound fully cooked, and now we're going to cut it up into little bitty chunks so that we can throw into here. You're going to do 1½ tablespoons of minced garlic. Then you're just going to do some pepper. You can put whole peppercorns if you want to, but you would want to do it in like a spice bag because you don't want the peppercorns when you can it, or some kind of thing that you can remove. I'm just doing crushed pepper because it's easier and I don't feel like doing all that mess. Alright, so pepper is in. You could add a bay leaf if you wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of bay leaves. Then you're just going to cover it all with chicken broth or water. I'm probably going to do a mixture of both because I don't think I'm going to have enough chicken broth to cover everything. When I run out of chicken broth, I'll just add water and make sure it's all covered. And then you're going to simmer it for 45 minutes. It's recording. You gonna eat this? Ham and bean soup. You like ham?
Yeah, but not with beans.
Good job. Alright, it's good. Wyatt's my helper. He's helping me make it. But you're going to simmer it for 45 minutes like I was saying. Put a lid on it, make sure it's covered, and set a timer for 45 minutes. It's easy, right?
This looks right here and feels like summertime, but it's not.
And it doesn't smell like summertime.
No,
it
it does
smells like
not.
winter.
That's right. Same thing we're doing, dressed a little different, smells in the air a little different, but we're always preserving, right? So what are we doing next?
All right, so the canner this is a pressure canner. You cannot water bath this. This is a pressure canner. It is heating up with 3 quarts of water, and we're gonna sanitize our jars. The soup has been simmering for 45 minutes, and now we are going to add celery, carrots, and onions to both pots.
All right.
You would just do 1 pot, but yeah, we're gonna add that all in, stir it up, make sure it's all incorporated, and then simmer it for 15 more minutes.
One thing to note, what we're doing differently because we're canning. So if you're just wanting to make this because you're wanting to make it for dinner tonight, this is my opinion, I don't know how she feels about it, but I would add these carrots, onions, and celery when you added the ham to the beans all at the same time. If you don't, you're going to get extremely hard carrots and extremely hard celery and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but where we're pressure canning, it's going to cook the food in the pressure canner. So
exactly. And
we
then,
don't want it too mushy.
Right. So everything that we're doing is going to be a little bit on the hard side because it's going to take so long to pressure canner. So just an FYI, if you're wanting to make it for dinner, throw it all in at the same time and just let it simmer for a while until everything's the softness that you like.
There you go. Yep. All right, onions are going in. Y'all, this I can't even describe to you the smell. It smells so good.
It's not the most appealing eyesight.
No, well, it's one of those winter soups, you know.
Yeah.
They're not.
But man, it smells really good, and I'm not even the biggest bean fan. I'm becoming more and more of a bean fan the more she cooks them. I'm not gonna lie, maybe my taste buds are changing as I'm getting older or whatever it is, but I used to not be able to stand it because they were so mushy, and I just couldn't stand the texture of them. And I didn't like them hard either. I mean, I didn't like any aspect of whatever form it was in. I didn't like it. But the more she's making it and the more she's basically saying, here's dinner, eat it or don't, I'm starting to actually have an appetite for them.
He's
like,
not like vegetables either, but.
well, I like some, just not all of them. I think the fresh gardening that we do has gotten me into the love of all the veggies. But yeah, so this is smelling really good and turning me into a bean fan. So if you're not, maybe this will do it too for you.
All right, celery's going in.
And so she hasn't mentioned exactly how much she's putting in each pot. We'll have the specifics down below in the recipe, but really it's just eyeball it. You know, it all adds the flavor. But you know, if you're not the hugest celery fan, do a little less, but add some so it has that flavor. And then just kind of eyeball it, basically.
You gotta get the veggies in.
You gotta get the veggies in, that's right. But yeah, so we'll have the specifics down below if you're like, how much are they putting in there? Carrots going in. Oh, this looks good. That added a color pop.
All right, so we're gonna simmer for 15 more minutes with the tops on.
So one thing that's nice, cooking in the winter, because see we got our wood burning stove going, sorry the dogs just disperse like crazy, is we usually throw a cast iron on here, and that water's just staying warm, and we're keeping our lids and our rings in there, help keep them sterile, make sure nothing gets on them or anything like that, and they stay in there, and then so we'll dry them off once we actually put the lids on. But that's a benefit of a wood burning stove when your actual stove's completely filled up. Just keep you some nice warm water and keep your lids and rings in there. And just to add, because I don't know if I fully said all that out, not boiling water. You do not want to put your rings and mainly your lids in boiling water. Just warm water, keep them sterile, keep them warm, and then you'll be good to go. Boiling water could compromise the seal.
Okay, our soup is ready. Just a few notes. You want to make sure that you do bring everything to a boil at some point, just so all the contents did come to a boil. Pressure canning soup is not tricky whatsoever, but you just want to make sure you follow some very simple rules. Make sure your jars are washed and sterilized in the hot water. Make sure that your lids and your rings are in the warm water. You don't have to do your rings, but you have to do the lids, your seals. Make sure they're in warm water, not boiling water. Make sure you have some funnel of some sort, a spoon. For this, you're gonna need a slotted spoon and a spoon that you can gather liquid in. One of these little things, I don't know what this is called.
It's a magnet.
But yeah, it has a magnet on it so you can get your your rings and your lids out of your hot water without having to touch it. Don't know what this little doodaddy's called either, but you need one. It shows you how much headspace. This has to be a 1-inch headspace. And I think that's it. So we're going to fill these jars 2/3 full with veggies, ham, and beans. The rest of it is going to be the liquid from the soup. So only 2/3 full with the veggies and the contents. The rest will be the liquid. So let's do it.
And all of those little crafty things she showed you come in a nice little pretty canning kit.
Yeah, it's like a little canning kit.
Yeah, and that's down in the Amazon store if you're interested. It's super cheap. It's not expensive, but it's all the essential little things that you'll need for this.
Okay, so use your little doodaddy to show your 1-inch headspace. Make sure you're good all the way around there. I need a knife. Hang on.
Need a knife.
Actually, no, don't. Let's use this. You want to do that, put that in there and get all the air bubbles out.
And what she means by getting the air bubbles out, she just pushing that down the sides, and that makes all the air bubbles come to the top and get out of there.
There's no bubbles trapped in there where
Right.
things won't get cooked. So I think we're good there. Just do that for all of them. Super easy. You do this for any type of canning, not just pressure canning.
So while she's doing that, you may be like, why is there so many empty jars over here? So we made 2 big pots. We're eating this for dinner tonight. So because this does take a very long time in the pressure canner, we'll tell you that here in just a minute. I don't know if she already has or not. We did exactly how many our pressure canner can hold for one round, which is 7, I believe. We'll find out when we get over there, but I'm pretty sure she's the one that knows. I think it was 7. So that's what we're doing for this, just because we don't want to be out here all night doing it. And we wanted to make sure we had enough for dinner, because we could have probably made about 10 or 12 of these.
Yeah.
All right, you got all there out?
Yep.
All right, let's get these tops and rings and lids and whatever, the seals. There's the word. Let's get them on there.
Okay, so get you some distilled vinegar and a paper towel or a rag, whatever's clean. And you're gonna wipe off your rims. Make sure there's nothing on there. Sometimes when you're pouring stuff in, it can overflow and get on there. So just make sure you get everything off. And that way your seals won't have any issues sealing.
All right, show them how that fancy little tool works there.
Get up out of there. Put it on. My hands are clean. Always have clean hands.
Not a ring. And check out the sunlight right now.
It's beautiful.
It has got everything up on this table looking awesome.
Golden hour.
It is the golden hour. Look at that ham and bean soup. So good.
Now you're gonna put your rings on, fingertip tight. So I don't let Zach do this part because he puts them on way too tight. If you put them on too tight, things can buckle and it's just not a good sign. So just fingertip tight. Okay, Zach's gonna put them in for me. I'm hoping and praying my memory's right and that it holds 7. Pretty sure it does. We'll find out though. We'll find out with us.
I think it's 6.
I don't know. There was 6, but there was one in the middle. I think that was 7.
I don't know. We're on 2 and we're awfully full.
It's been too many weeks since we canned. What is happening?
I know. I feel like we just did this.
Right?
Like we literally do it all summer, every summer.
Yeah. Okay, it's gonna hold 7 for sure. For sure.
What if it holds 8?
Well, then that would be unfortunate.
Well.
Look at that. It holds 7.
Lucky number
Yay.
7.
I was right. Thank
Perfect,
you, memory. Okay, so now you put your lid on. You gotta make sure you get it on there tight.
So, the first time we ever canned, the one thing we did wrong was we just set this on there and we locked it. Now, it was a brand new pressure canner and it didn't seal. So what I like to do anytime we use a pressure canner is I like to kind of push down as I turn it. And all that's doing is making sure that seal is truly sealing in locked tight, because that's what you need to build pressure. So just kind of keep an eye on that. We were all like standing halfway out the kitchen several years ago.
That was fun.
Like, why is it not building pressure? And that was the reason. And you don't want to ever have that scary moment of having to take off the weight and it doing all kinds of crazy things. So just make sure you push it down a little as you twist and you won't have any issues. So what we're doing now is we're going to actually not put the weight on yet. We're going to let it vent for 10 minutes.
Set a timer, 10 minutes.
Yeah, set a timer. So after that, we'll then put the weight on it, and then we'll start building our pressure.
There you go. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. The weight is going on. So we have the Presto pressure canner, and we really like it. We've had it for how many years?
4 years now?
More than that, 6 or 7. I don't know. It's a great canner, so it's pretty common.
Yep. And anything with those pressure canners, sorry, I know you were just ready to roll with it, and I just straight up cut you off. With pressure canners, there's really only one thing that you really need to keep check on, and that's the seal on the inside.
Yeah, you call it a gasket or no?
Yeah, it's a gasket. Yeah. And it's just like a washer or different stuff like that. All it is makes it completely seal without any air gaps. So that is easy replaceable. Roll King sells them.
Yep.
Not sponsored yet, but it just happened to be I'm wearing the hoodie. Or Amazon's got them, different stuff like that. Just wherever you bought your pressure canner, they will have replacement parts. And the weight.
Yep.
Just make sure it doesn't crack. But that's basically it.
That's it. So now we're going to bring it up to 10 pounds of pressure, which is right in the middle, for an hour and a half.
They
so
did
that's
not
going to
see
be
that.
fun.
Just look for the 10.
Look for the 10. We're going to bring it to 10 pounds of pressure for an hour and a half.
And so now that is the scariest part of this for people that aren't pressure canners or haven't done it in a while. An hour and a half holding temperature is a really, really long time, right? But it's fine. It is fine. I promise it is so easy.
Yeah.
So it's going to gain to 10 quick, pretty quick. Once it takes off, it goes. And then you just move it down to medium heat and you watch it. And then if it starts creeping up, you move it down a little bit more, a little bit more. I promise you all, it's not just going to drop off. It's so simple, and we'll show you. We'll clip in a couple times just to show you how easy it is and what we do.
All right.
Okay. Y'all can't tell, but it's right at 10. And it's getting there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down literally all the way to medium. Sorry, y'all couldn't see that. Maybe medium, a dash up, and I'm gonna watch it because that heat's gonna hold. Think about when you bring something to a boil and then you turn it down to simmer, it still has a minor boil going on, right? So it's not like it's this dropping temperature. So I'm right at 10, you get 2 dashes to stay on 10, and I promise it's not hard once you've done it a couple times. So we're on 10, Jen has set the timer, isn't that right, Jen?
Yes.
Yes, so we are good to go, and we'll check back in. For you all, it'll be literally immediately, but probably in about 30 minutes or so to show you where we're at and what I'm doing to kind of keep it going. Okay, we are 29 minutes left. Sorry, we got some people over eating some dinner, so it's getting a little bit louder. But we're still at 10 pressure. And you can see right here, I just showed y'all earlier where we are on the temperature gauge, I guess you could say, on your level. All you gotta do is just keep watching it. As that, let's get you zoned in there. As that moves up a little, you move down just a tad. And then so we've been holding here. I haven't had to touch it in probably 20 minutes. It's just stayed right here. It's so simple to do. And we are on the home stretch, about 20 minutes to go. So the people we were talking about is this guy and Grammy Karen. Y'all see them all the time. Y'all say hi.
Hi.
There they are.
Papa was here.
Papa was here. He got a little bean and ham soup, and now he's on his way back to work. And how much time we got left?
56 seconds.
Lost her for a minute. All right, so we got 56 seconds.
Feels like New Year's Eve with this taking so
It really
long.
does. It does. It's a long time to cook, but it was seriously, I think I touched the knob 3 total times in this entire hour and a half, and I barely moved it down at all. And we stayed right at 10 the whole time. I promise you all, you can do it. It's super simple. So let's cut real quick and we'll show you what we do when this 50 seconds is up.
Okay, so now we're just going to turn the heat off, completely off, and let that come down. The pressure is going to go back down to 0. And once it gets to 0, we'll show you what to do, but just turn it off.
If you're a first-time pressure canner, whatever you do not take that weight off right now. Like it's very hard to mess this up, but that will ruin your day because it will burn your hand. Please wait till the pressure gets all the way to 0, and then we'll show you what to do. Okay, we have let our pressure get all the way down to 0, so now we can take our weight off, and it is still going to shoot out a little bit, but it's okay now. So see, you got a little bit left, but it's all the way down to 0. We're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes-ish, and then we'll take it off and we'll get everything out of there.
Okay, they're ready to come out. Look how pretty. Yes. All right, let me put it down before I lose it. There it is.
7
Just
quarts.
like that. 7
Voila.
quarts. We had a wonderful dinner with family of ham and bean soup, and then we canned 7 quarts of it. So super easy.
And yeah, so we had this for dinner. Absolutely highly
With some
recommended.
cornbread.
That's what I was going to say. She just went in there and stole it, didn't she? Just took it right out my mouth. Absolutely make some cornbread in this and crumble it all up in there. That's the only way to have it.
Yes.
I tell you, if you don't put cornbread up in that soup, you're going to be missing out.
Yeah, ain't the
'Cause
same.
It ain't the same. It is not. You cannot can it with the cornbread in it, but
Yeah.
just make it ready to make and crumble that bad boy right in that bowl.
Yep.
Gosh, we are awful.
Yeah, so you put this on your shelf, and when you pull it off the shelf and get ready to make it, just heat it up.
Did you hear that?
Just heat it up out of the jar into a pot, and you're good to go. There's your dinner for the night.
Act like you went to Walmart and you bought a Campbell's soup. This is what that is right there. Full blown for you, ready for the making.
Yep.
But we hope you all enjoyed this. It's a delicious soup. It's 7 more quarts added to our pantry.
That's right.
You know, sometimes you might think, oh, just 7 quarts. Well, we've done this all year, and now we're up to like 500 quarts of stuff in our pantry. It adds up.
It does.
So it's kind of like planting fruit trees. It was the best time to start was 7 years ago. The next time to start is right now.
Yep.
Get your booties out there canning. Do not
That's
be
right.
scared of
Pull
a pressure
that
canner.
canner out anytime. Pressure
That's right.
can something, water bath can something, and just put stuff in your pantry. Have it preserved.
Yep, and y'all, I know, you know, we're trying to like be sustainable and grow everything strictly from here. But if you're at the store and they got like a deal on something of
Beans
meat
or ham, pick that stuff up.
Pick it up and come home and can it. Actually, we got a roast on a ginormous sale. It was like 50% off, you know, when they get the like almost time to expire kind of stuff. We're thinking about canning that if we don't eat it beforehand. But, you know, just like keep your eye out for those kind of things. Canning is not just for the summer with your veggies. It's canning all year long.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all really enjoyed this.
And we love you.
And until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.